Good day, YouTube. My name is Captain Darren and my amateur radio call sign is N4VFR. In today's video, I'm going to show you my settings for my transmit audio on the SunSDR2 DX. The mic I'm using is the Heil PR40. It has XLR output and it's going into my Focusrite Scarlett Solo via XLR. Alright, so this is my sound card and it's going out via USB to my Dell XPS 17. Now, how I adjusted the gain when I'm transmitting on the mic, I transmit until I see it start to go red, orange to red, and then I back it down. So right now I am about, I don't know, 4 o'clock position on the Scarlett. Welcome to my desktop. My good friend Manny, his call is Kilo Zero Mike Oscar from South Florida. He coordinated with me to get on 10 meters earlier today. And we had very good propagation, as if I was there in his Radio Shack. It was pretty loud. And I'm operating with barefoot, only 100 watts. I have no amplifier here at this location. He saw that my audio wasn't quite tweaked, so we spent a lot of time, I don't know how many hours, maybe an hour or 2 hours, maybe like that. I lost track of time. But we were able to tweak my audio to sound like broadcast quality. So I want to show you my setup and what I've changed. First thing I want to do is I want to make sure I go to options. I want to make sure that my sound sample rate is very fast. You want minimum latency. So it's that buffer size here, 64 samples. Originally, I had it set at 2048, but that was too long. He told me maybe 128 samples or 64 samples. So we're going to go with 64 samples and with 48,000 hertz. I can't change that. Okay, so that's set. Another thing we looked at, because I'm using the Focusrite Solo, Scarlett Solo, and I'm going to take a look at those options. So with Focusrite, I don't have much options here. So output routing, it's not supported. Input device, I have 2 inputs. I'm using, for this microphone, I'm using the analog 1. So, and these are my only options I can change, okay? Our sample rate, remember 48,000, that's what we have set. And the internal clock source, it's set to default. That's it. This is, it also has 48 volts phantom power, but I'm not using that. And that's it. There's nothing else that I can do in order to make changes. All right, so I just wanted to show you that. Okay, the next thing is these audio sources. All right, from a microphone, I'm using the Focusrite USB ASIO, and that's the fastest. I'm using that external sound card. It's the Focusrite. So I selected that. And then for my speakers, it's also the ASIO. So that's the fastest low latency support drivers, I guess you want to call it drivers. All right, so that's set. Apply and OK. And I think that's everything there. All right, so you may have heard like 3K wide, 4K wide. I have some profiles here that I have set up. You go to the upper right corner of the SDR. Here's the 4K. I don't know why that dropped off to my other screen. Okay, so this is my 4K wide. For 4K, and go to options, and then you go into devices. The subdirectory is called transmit, TX. So 4K, I have the bandwidth at 4,000 hertz, and the lows are at 50 hertz. So that's how I have that set up. And if I were going to go to my 3K wide, okay, it likes to drop off to my second screen. Bring that back. Okay, this is 3K wide. And take a look at that. That's 3,000 hertz. And then we got 100 hertz is the low. All right. Bring this back. It keeps jumping off screen. I don't know why, but bear with me. And then if I want to go contesting or DXing, I don't do contesting. We go here. I got 2.9K. So that's 2.9K. And then how that looks like, I set it at 2.9 hertz and the low's at 150 hertz. Okay. I want more presence of higher tone instead of lower bass. So 150, I think that sounds good. That sounds about right. Okay. All right, let's bring the screen back on to the left monitor. There we go. And I'm going to select 4K for now. It's pissing me off. Okay, we're at 4K. All right, so how do I get to all those settings for my transmit? It's right here. The processor. Process. Let me do this drop down. I'm using my name, Captain Darren. Okay, so we click on Pros. All right, so here we go. We got all of these tabs that I want to go over. And how we did these testings was when I'm talking, I was giving like a test count, like a DC block is enabled. Hello, testing. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now I'm going to disable the DC block. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Over. And then Manny would come back to me and says, I think that it sounds much better with the DC block on or enabled. So that's what I did. I left it the way it is. And then we moved over to the rotator. He mentioned to me that's more for like maybe like AM amplitude modulation. We did some tests on there, and he said it doesn't sound any changes. So we just left it at as is, disabled. I think we jumped around, but I'm just going to go through each one of these from left to right. All right, pre-processing. All right, there's 3 modes here. We did a lot of testing here. We said default it's mode 2. So we did some testing with mode 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, and then with it enabled, of course. And then I went to mode 2, test 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. How does that sound? And then mode 3, and then the same way. And he mentioned it sounded better with mode 2 and with the pre-processing on. So I left it out. I left it enabled. Filters. He doesn't use filters, and he suggested I not use the filters. So that's all disabled here. No check marks. Noise gate. That we didn't really go over that. That's just me here to control. Like you don't see it over there behind the camera. I have a electric fan going. So see if you can listen to it. It's not picking up the fan. Okay, compressor. Here he gave me some numbers to try. He told me a ratio, try to 2.0 to 1, and the threshold of -16. The attack is 5 milliseconds, and the release time is 100 milliseconds. I think he originally mentioned to me to have the release time much higher, but I can't go any higher. The maximum I can do is 100, so we left it as is. With the types, we tried the hard and soft. The soft with the knee of 10 was perfect. It's fine. So we don't want too much compressor. And then moving on to the limiter, we didn't really talk about this too much. We left it as is. That's default 150, 100, 00. Okay, nothing's changed. Equalizer. We spent a lot of time here. I'm not going to make any changes. It took me a while to get this. I did some screenshots, so in case if I reformat it or I lose the settings by any chance, I have it backed up where I can tweak it the way it is. But this setting here, using 4K, 6K, 8K, 10K, he said it's going to be perfect. It's going to be like broadcast quality sound. All right. Remember, I'm not using any outboard audio. It's all in the software of the SunSDR. I needed to get a little bit more punch into it. You know, when you transmit, if you look up here, I got the zero power output right now. If you were to transmit, look at this meter on the top right. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Audio, Tennessee, whiskey. You see that the peaks up here to 5. You want to get it close to 0, but you don't want to go over modulated to be distorted. So that's how it's looking now. We did that by adding gain. Right now, my gain is set to plus 10 dB. Look at the band activity. Gosh, it's amazing. A lot of activity going on today. I guess there's a contest. Look. All right. Moving along. How we did this, he said, try it into the V shape. We did it to the V shape, and then you see how it goes down into the V. And then we decided to move up the 1000 hertz up to -0. Correction, it's 0 dB. And my lows are 80s. You can make the adjustments. So nothing's changed on the bandwidth, but we made some tweaks through the frequencies. I think the lower frequencies, and then made it to the V shape. Now it's a VW. W actually comes down, up, and back down, and then back up. That's how it looks like. And if you want to, if you guys are operating SunSDR, you might want to try it this way. It might sound good for you. Remember, everyone's voice is different. All right, automatic gain control. We didn't really talk about that, but I have it enabled. So that's my settings now. 1, 400, 400, 0. And that's the default setting. I have it enabled. And Clipper, we didn't talk about this, but it's disabled. And what I did at the end, the profiles, I went ahead and I update the current profile. Okay. And then I exported it and I saved that file onto my hard drive for later retrieval. So that's it. That's my transmit audio setup. And hi. There's my baby. I don't know if you can see her. She's right here. Baby Sophie. She's tired. Yeah, so then the next thing I'm going to do, it's really hard to record the audio. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the headphone jack from there, from my SunSDR, and I'm going to connect it directly to my camera. Connect it directly to my camera, and I'm going to record the audio, and you're going to see me when I change from 4K to 3K to 2K. So stand by. Before I do that, I want to see if I can make a 6K wide profile. Okay, I'm going to create a 6K profile. This is how I normally do it. I go up to here, and I'm going to create a name. And for VFR 6K. And then we want to add that profile. Okay. So we are currently using 6K profile. Now I want to change the transmit bandwidth to say 6K. There's 6,000. And for example, here we'll say 30 hertz. Apply, click OK. And then this, I want to update, make sure I saved it to the 6K. I'll double check, and it is 6K. Okay. Like I said, the difficulty is copying the audio after the radio. And how I do that is I'm going to use a monitor jack, the phones, and it goes directly into my camera. And you'll see it. I'm going to change the profiles on the fly. I won't be able to hear it now because I don't have a headphones, but you get the idea. And I'm going to key it constant key. I'm going to say this is 6K, this is 4K, this is 3K, and then you decide if it sounds good.
Okay, guys, we are currently 0 power on 40 meters on the lower sideband, and we are currently 4K. So listen to that sound, 4K. That's how it sounds, 4K wide. Just be noted that this passband, it didn't change with me. I would have to change that manually by doing this. Get the diamond there and then move it out here to a 4K. That's for my receive. So that's 4K, and going down to 3K, and here's 3K. So 3K, that's the 3K right about, I got to take this and bring it into 3K right about there. Okay, that's 3K. That's how it sounds like on 3K. And we're going to go to 2.9. And that's 2.9 is not much from 3K, but this 2.9, which I'm currently on, the 2.9 bandwidth and then 150 hertz is my low. So it sounds more of like a tin can sound. Tinny, not tin can, but tinny sound. All right, so let's go to 6K.
All right, here we go. This is 6K wide. The clarity is there. I hope so, because I'm not listening to it. It's being recorded on my camera. 6K, I'm going to take this here. We're going to drag it out to 6K right about there. And look, this is the center frequency with the red line. And my base is on the right side of the pan adapter here. Okay, so my lows are on the right. What we want to do is give it like a Bart Simpson head when I'm transmitting. So that looks good right there. Very good. And I hope it sounds good, guys. Let's go back to 4K. And that is 4K. I'm bringing my receive back down to 4K right about there. All right. That's my demonstration of how the audio sounds from the radio going out over the air, but it's being recorded on my camera right now.
Well, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video on me setting up the SunSDR transmit audio. If you like my videos, please consider to subscribe to my channel. It motivates me to make more videos for you guys. And special thanks to Manny K0MO from South Florida. 73s, guys. Have a great day.